Very like to Judaism, where when we mourn somebody, we sit for 7 days and mourn him with the death of somebody. People come to to our houses and have this whole thing of 7 days where everything stops and you sit and you mourn somebody, which is a very, I think, psychological thing that is very helpful people to overcome the death of a dear one. The Eritreans have something very similar. With them, it works for 21 days, basically, and people come to sit with the family that lost its loved one. Now, October 2013, there was Lampedusa, the ship that drowned in front of Lampedusa, and it had many Eritreans. If I'm not mistaken, I think there were 350 people on that ship, and they started losing a lot of people in the Mediterranean. So they started having all these services of mourning. But and this is something really people don't understand, since the Eritrean refugees, which have this service, first of all, it's impossible for them to sit 21 days at home and not to go to work. And the only free day they have, by the way, they shifted their day of church. They do not go to church on Sunday like they used to do. They go to church on Saturday, because that's the day most of them don't work, because it's our Saturday. So they decided that they cannot do that ceremony, but they would do a ceremony only on Saturday. So people all around Israel would come to the family. If you had people coming from Ashdod and Kfar Saba and all there. Now the apartments they live are tiny. You have like a few families sharing a 2-bedroom apartment. Or you have somebody, and they understood that if they started having all these people coming in and out from their buildings, it would disturb their neighbors. So they decided to do something in a garden. They will do a Saturday morning, a 4-hour ceremony out in the garden, intentionally thinking they will not disturb the Israeli community. And it was so painful for me when trying to explain to Israelis that, you're asking them to give up what they already gave up. They're mourning people, and you're asking them. I told them, would you feel comfortable if I would tell you, don't mourn your dead anymore? Would you feel it's an okay thing for me to do? They're not doing it in the houses they do not want disturbed. They're trying to do it outside in a public garden, and that is not enough for you. They went there, and they were quite violent towards them. You have pictures of Susie raising a stone and threatening them and telling. And we came to discuss with them, and they said it would be a sign of goodwill if these ceremonies would stop. For me, it was very difficult. The truth, it was very, very hard. But I went with a few Eritreans on a Saturday morning. We couldn't reach out because we couldn't find always who these people were. I went there very early before going to Cholot, to the garden, and we went with a few Eritreans. Barak came with me. And we told them that it won't work, that the neighbors will fight them. And they weren't very insulted, but they stopped. We were trying to think at that point, maybe a church in Yafo can help. I don't know how it ended up. I don't know what they do instead of it. But we took that away from them. And then the people of South Tel Aviv became, how you say, with food comes the appetite. They said, okay, now we don't want their weddings to be in the gardens.